Dawand Jones, how do you see him at left tackle? Do you think that works? I mean, we've heard he's healthy. He had the spot where he looked really good, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, I'm actually encouraged by Dawand Jones as the first man up at the left tackle spot. I think he showed some promise last year in particular at that position. You know, you look at I know we all like to use PFF grades to varying degrees, but I think you look at his 3 games at left tackle and he was making gradual progress. I think he kind of held his own at that spot and showed some signs that maybe there's something there. I was surprised that the Browns didn't, similar to the wide receiver position, I was surprised they didn't pursue, a left tackle necessarily in the draft just to give themselves some more options there. But I think that was, I'm assuming that the Dawand Jones, like him being on this team, his presence on this team is a major reason why they maybe felt like it didn't have to be as high of a priority. They maybe felt like, hey, we can get away with starting him and seeing what he brings to the table. And they did sign Cornelius Lucas, who's a swing tackle who can play both sides. And he actually put up some decent PFF numbers in terms of playing the left tackle spot for Washington last year for, I think, about 8 games. So I think they feel good about their depth there. And if Dawand doesn't work out, they can pivot maybe to Cornelius Lucas. And at the end of the day, like that doesn't spell the end for Dawand Jones either, because he could ultimately end up as the right tackle on this team if he can stay healthy. Once Jack Conklin's contract's up at the end of the year, so they have some options. I think starting with Dawand Jones at left tackle and just seeing what he brings to the table, seeing if he can fit there is a good move. And if it doesn't work out, like I said, there's a number of ways they can kind of pivot that position. I think the biggest thing is going to be him staying healthy. That's the thing I think Dawand Jones has to prove this year is that he's going to be able to stay on the field because 2 years in, he's been plagued by injuries to this point that have cost him, playing time and a chance to really get a good assessment on like how good he can be. We think there's potential there, but we don't know the full story yet. So that's I think the big thing he has to kind of answer for going into this year. But if he proves to be somewhat sturdy at left tackle, then maybe the Browns do find themselves somebody that can hold down that position for years to come.